It's Friday night, and you know what that means. Time for an hour of wrestling that flies by like it's merely 60 minutes. I'm Joe Renton with my review of AEW Rampage, and I'll say this much. They put a little more effort into this show. They had a couple angles going on. It's just a shame one of them in particular wasn't something I really cared about. But anyway, it is what it is. At least they put a little more effort in, and they're back at their normal time slot, so hopefully the ratings will go up. They can't go much lower. I mean, they can. I don't think TNT executives would be very goddamn happy. About 400,000 people watched it last week. I get that it's not in the best goddamn slot on Fridays, and the ratings aren't everything, and that sometimes, there's an overrun or whatever. There could be other ways that people watch, but Jesus fucking Christ, 400,000 people, maybe not even 400,000 people, just under watching a Friday night wrestling show. Well, whatever. What would help is if they found a way to run it live, but then again, that could get more costly. Who knows? Maybe now that Tony owns Ring of Honor, maybe they'll find a way to do some stuff live, incorporate Ring of Honor talent and do some stuff. I don't fucking know what they're going to do. Let's talk about this show. Excalibur Taz and Jericho Aniston on commentary. Thanks once again to Not Dr. Death on Twitter for the Jericho Aniston line. It's fucking fitting. Look, I understand Jericho's really, really desperately trying hard to cling and clutch to the remaining bits of his legacy, the 1% that there is. And no, I'm not talking about EC3 being in the top 1%. Oh boy, CYN. Or it really should be CYA and control your Aryan narrative, because good fucking grief, that stuff. So anyway, Archer's music hits. He brings some guy down to the ring that we'd never seen, and we are told and screamed at through the commentary headsets, "Hey, oh my God, it's one of Dustin's students." Okay, I didn't know. I didn't know who the hell the guy was. Nothing against him. Dustin comes down and stops that, and we get Dustin Rhodes versus Lance Archer with Dan Lambert, the sheepish lion Dan Lambert. How is this a grudge match exactly? Now, I know that they faced off in one of the first pandemic shows, and that was at like QT Marshall's gym, so it was in that really, really intimate studio setting. And look, I get it. Both these guys can work. I like Archer. Dustin is in incredible shape and can still work, despite the fact he started in 1988 and probably could go for another few years if he really wanted to. It wasn't a bad match, but it also didn't really feel like a blood feud. I mean, Dustin was bleeding at one point. He did hit a crossroads later in the match. That got a bit of a pop. Then we got a full Nelson Slam for one. Dustin's like powering out, but then got hit with a choke slam for two. And then, after all that, there's an exposed buckle that Archer had exposed earlier, and he got hit into it, and a jackknife pin cover, 1, 2, 3. Dustin somehow wins, but Archer is immediately up, throws him in the steps, hits a choke slam makes him bleed, and then throws him via a choke slam into the table. Hooray! I like Archer. This just didn't make a whole lot of sense. Like, Dustin won. Okay. Why are they done building Archer? Because Archer losing via these fluky methods since he came back after, thankfully, not suffering a career-ending neck injury, against Eddie Kingston in that title tournament match. It just feels like they don't know what they're doing with Lance. It just feels like they don't. So anyway, the students got laid out also during this whole thing. And then Lexi Nair, I don't know who. I know that she had some appearances backstage for AEW before. I think she had a brief run with a little bit of an interview series on AEW's YouTube channel. I don't know who she is. She's interviewing Jay Lethal. There's got to be a better way. There's got to be a morning after pill. Wait, that's something a little bit wrong. Anyway, Jay Lethal, he has a lot of wins, but the losses he has are sticking with him because of who he lost to. There's got to be a better way. He's got to find a way to win. Okay. That'll be all that we see of Jay Lethal for about 6 weeks on TV. He'll probably be back on the YouTube shows. It's at this point that I'm realizing that while I'm glad that AEW is a home to various people, they need to cycle some people out and they need to cut some contracts. And they need to just keep people on pay-per-appearances stuff or whatever, but they need to not have as many on-air talents as they have. They have almost as many commentators as they have women in their division. And it's not good. So hopefully they can find a way to utilize people. They're probably going to have to shuffle some people to Ring of Honor to maybe boost that brand. And resurrect if they can. Hey, Fuego del Sol's here. He took it to House of Black for all of 30 seconds and feels like he can challenge them. He says, "You people." That must have worked out really well there. Anyway, Here's a House of Black. And they knock him around, lay him out. They go to leave, and then the Dark Order shows up. Well, a few members of them. Dark Order, the Darks versus the Blacks. Tale as old as time. These stables aren't very good. Like, there's really no reason to have this feud unless it's going to be the Dark Order getting glommed and getting destroyed, which I think is going to be the case. So, watch it be a blood and guts. No, please don't do that. Please don't. Don't do that. Lexi's backstage with Dan Lambert, the sheepish lion Dan Lambert, about Men of the Year. Well, with the Man of the Year. No more open challenges. Bring your resume. You can't stop. Don't do this anymore. Okay, they've been trying to crack the Sky Vinci Code. Well, I mean, he tried to come up with a catchphrase. I liked Scorpio Sky. I really do. I just feel like sometimes the material he's given isn't the best. I mean, in Scorpio Sky, I talked to him, Frankie Kazarian, and Christopher Daniels very briefly at an indie show like 3 years ago. Nice guys, and Scorpio Sky's charismatic as hell. This just isn't good material they're giving him. And then Red Dragon beat 5 and 10. With a match that certainly happened. And then Jurassic Express show up afterward. We get Tarzan Boy Dance, and Adam Cole, being a little bitch that he is, steals the Tag Team Championships. Now we have the championships. See, this would matter if these guys were presented as a credible threat, but they're not. They argue like school children with the Bucks, and they beat two guys that aren't bad in the ring, but are no more than mid-card guys. Then Nyla cuts a backstage promo, saying, oh, you people were pissed off that we interrupted Thunder Rosa's moment. That was the point. Yes, Nyla, and you could have done that without Vicky Guerrero going full on exposing her political views on AEW television. Let me just say right now, once again, that if we could bring Eddie back and put Vicky in his place, I don't think anybody would be upset. At least Eddie was a positive influence on wrestling. Vicky Guerrero would be turning a few things, on some street corners, as it were, because, well, then again, actually, that's unfair. She'd probably have to pay people to sleep with her. Check out my Dynamite review near the end of that if you really want to hear what I said about Vicky, but it is what it is. And I like Thunder Rosa. Thunder Rosa's firing up. She, great spokesperson for women's wrestling. Speaks Spanish, speaks English, the bilingual nature of it, that really can have some cross appeal, and she's just great. She does great stuff for her community. I really hope they utilize her well as champion. Her and Nyla can have a good match. Nyla doesn't need Vicky. Nyla then beats Maddie Rankowski. Watching you, Rankowski. Haven't done that in a while. Of course, I haven't reviewed AEW Dark and Elevation in a while, but Rankowski. And then Jericho gives Nyla the Sports Entertainer Award of the Week to Nyla. Good job, Jericho. You're like an old man trying to do fucking comedy and everything. And really, really bad comedy. It was a mauling. Maddie, has trained under Thunder Rosa. Oh, do go on. And Beast Bomb, 1, 2, 3. I mean, Nyla, if Nyla had been getting wins like this, and I'm not just talking on the YouTube shows, doing the occasional stuff like this, and she'd been winning matches for the last 4 months, guess what? This would have meant something. Now, they don't understand how to stagger this stuff properly. They don't understand how to build this stuff. You can't start a feud and then start building the challenger. And then QT offers the certificate of accomplishment to Hook. And Hook shows up and puts Solo's head through the goddamn thing. The little plaque that looked like it was from a Godfather's restaurant. I love Godfather's Pizza, which it was still around. And then Hook leaves. So, here's Danhausen to curse him. And Hook just says, fuck you, and leaves. Okay. Why? So anyway, the Owen Hart Women's Tournament starts this week. I know they were doing a men's and a women's bracket, but okay. We're going to look out for that. And we're going to look out for whoever the hell is going to be taking on the Bunny. It's a new signee. They need more women to their women's division. I know what I just said about them needing to cut some, but take a look at the disparity between the men and the women. If they can sign somebody that's quality, good. I really hope it's somebody quality and not somebody shit. Mandy Leon. Sign her. I mean, she's not bad. She at least tries in the ring. Don't sign Angelina Love, for the love of God. Don't do that. So anyway, Swerve gets a pop. Starks comes out. He's such a goddamn star. And there's an entourage of people that have this weird banner thing like they're at a college party. It's Swerve versus Starks for the FTW Championship. Well worked. The crowd was into it. I love Swerve. Starks is really good. And Hobbs is also at ringside. Swerve gets a close near fall off a stomp. And then Swerve manages to stop Starks on a spear attempt through the ropes, or a dive through the ropes. And then the referee, they cut the camera away so Hobbs can glom Swerve. The referee clearly saw this. And if he didn't see that, he saw Hobbs hurl Swerve back into the goddamn ring. They make the referee so goddamn ineffective. And I like a couple of their referees. I got nothing against this new guy. I've never seen him before. But this made him look really ineffective. And then Rochambeau, 1, 2, 3, great. And then the entourage comes down with the sign. And then they take forever to set up this obvious thing where Keith Lee's going to throw somebody through it, which he does. And then we get a beat down and everything. I smell a tag match a little bit later. I actually smell something that was contrived. And to be perfectly honest, I really think they could do better with this show. And I'm not talking about the talents. I'm talking about the people putting it together. I understand it's an hour and it's a taped show. But do better. Do better. Don't have some matches go on longer than they need to. Have a couple more squash matches. If you can do, say, 5, maybe even 6 matches on a Rampage, have a bookend of 1 hot opener, 1 hot closer, maybe something a little bit in the middle. You can do 3 squash matches a week. Build some people. Do a little bit of that on Dynamite. It would make sense. It would utilize the roster better. Anyway, agree, disagree with what I said? Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm Joe Rentlin. I'll see you soon.